Hey YouTube, what's up? So today we're going to be taking a look at some cool stuff that I've been working on with the Bazel SDL3 example project. So I've made a couple changes here to the example source code itself. We have a variable called blue, and what this is basically going to do is we're going to increment it on every frame, and then we're going to set the renderer to draw a color with this new with this new color that has a steadily increasing blue value. And then we render it, and then we just continue. And that's all it does. And so what this is going to look like is that what it's called? Yeah. So, we'll take a brief pause while this builds. We're back, and it is running on my machine. Now, what I have been working on and what I think is pretty dang cool is so I just started a Python HTTP server to run the index.html in my current directory. And here we can see that the same thing is being run, and that's thanks to some very cool work that's currently ongoing into the Emscripten repository to migrate the build system to module Bazel, or to Bazel modules, right? Which means that then we can use Emscripten as a native Bazel module, and we can leverage all of the definitions that are in it, that are inside of the Emscripten SDK now. What that means for practical purposes is that as a consumer of the EMSDK, specifically this branch that is that the pull request is part of, we get all of the tool chains and like the definitions and stuff that come with it as a Bazel module, and we can use them similar to this. So like we have this WASM CC binary that's provided by the Emscripten toolchain WASM rules Bazel file. And what this basically does is we define our target, which is SDL3 WASM. We say what binary we want to kind of inject the build process of, and then replace it with the WASM build process. And then we also say what it is that we want this build process to create. And there's some logic to kind of like make sure that all of these are produced and stuff. But more or less, like what this is doing is since I've specified that I wanted to build an HTML file, then it's similar to running EMCC main, or EMCC with a WASM HTML, or with an HTML file. So it will produce an auto-generated web page that gives you this basically. I've stripped down this version a little bit, so it's not as like boilerplatey, but it basically gives you that. Just real quick, if you didn't notice, please like and subscribe. Helps the channel, helps me. It's cool. But just to kind of go over some of the changes that I've made in the project outside of the stuff that made the WASM builds work. So number one is that there are now two CC binary targets. So one of them is pretty much the same as the previous video. It's just this is what runs the native window, and so it uses the shared library, and it's it's basically the same thing. The other one is a statically linked version of the same thing, which allows you to then do the WASM build. And then as part of that, there are a few extra things in the static build rule that are pretty much mostly here to make Emscripten work. I don't know if there's going to be many people like statically linking their SDL not to build WASM, but you can use it if even if not. But yeah, mostly this is here to make Emscripten work. And then also just a quick note on the shared library. There was a very cool pull request from KK Pattern to basically to fix the Windows build, and so he added this out interface libs this attribute, and then also made sure that the Windows library was actually given the right name. I haven't tested this because running Bazel on Windows kind of sucks, and I haven't been able to get it to work. So if anyone does want to test it and doesn't work, please let me know, and I will do my best. Or if you can always submit a pull request as well to kind of explain what sort of needed to happen for this. So the build, basically, if you want to build the HTML file as part of the process, you have to do all this. So you have to basically say that you do not want the output format JS feature to be enabled. And if you don't do this, then it will set it as it's a default inside of the WASM CC binary toolchain, and it will basically override any of the other any of the other output things that you can provide. And so you have to disable that in order to allow JS to be built, or in order to allow non-JS to be the target. And then you also have to provide these link options. I don't know if this one's actually necessary, but you definitely need this at least to say that the output of the like ultimate output of the build process is going to be this HTML file that links to the JavaScript files, and the JavaScript file, which then makes use of the WASM file. Elaborate on that a little bit more. You can also, if you don't need the HTML file, suppose you already have an HTML file that you just need the JavaScript to embed into it, or you're using it in some other embedding, then you can also just not include the HTML, like this rule does. And then it will, it will just provide then basically the build will just work by itself. This was really fast because it's cached. And if you do that, then the only thing you need to kind of keep in mind is that the outputs are not exactly, or the outputs are not enforced inside of the files themselves. And so if you go to the SDL3 WASM JS only file, for example, it's not looking for the WASM file that has its name just with a WASM extension. It's looking for the WASM name that has the name of the CC target. And so you do have to go in here and change this if you want to do that. And I'm not exactly sure what needs to happen in order to fix that. But I have this index.html that already uses this specific JS file, and so now I can start the server and go back here, and it will just work. So then the other thing is the HTML file is also not going to have the correct file name if you use the HTML file. So you will have to go in here and change that as well. So a little bit annoying, but it works. So with that, you now have a pretty simple starting point to build SDL games that can run on your computer as well as on the web. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you use this to make some cool friggin' games. And if you do, please let me know. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and have a good one.